Well, we are back, and Dale Versteegen joins us now from Walking Mountains. I let him know about the theme, Green Week, and of course, it's pretty much always Green Week over at Walking Mountains. Thanks for joining us today.
Welcome. Yeah, it was great knowing that it was Green Week because it let me present or prepare a little program to highlight how in our society we're looking at reduce, reuse, recycle, and the great thing is in our environment there's always this reuse. And on a lot of programs, if people have been out with me before, they may have heard me say the line of everything's on its way to becoming something else.
Yes.
And in nature, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, we didn't start the campaign. That was started a long time ago.
It was already there. Isaac Newton also came up with a saying of matter cannot be created or destroyed, simply changed. So when you really start applying those two things to nature, it gets really fascinating.
Yeah.
And so I brought in a series of pictures just to talk people through this process. And obviously, everyone will recognize our sun, great source of energy. But the great thing is, if we were just to walk outside, we'll feel warm, but we can't capture that energy. So there needs to be something done here on the planet to help put that energy in a more usable source.
Okay.
And so the great thing is, we've gone through photosynthesis before, how sunlight, carbon dioxide, oxygen, water helps reduce sugars in plants. So all of a sudden you have this inaccessible energy from the sun, gets put into an accessible source in our plants. Now obviously it needs to then get repackaged. It gets repackaged when things like a squirrel may come along and eat some of the nuts off our lodgepole pine trees or some of the different pine species. Here's where things start getting a little bit complicated because you can actually go through a variety of different channels. One channel might be the squirrel gets eaten by the great horned owl.
Okay.
The other channel could be the fox eats the squirrel. Either way, if there's a predator that eats that prey, it's going to get put back into the system because ultimately the predator is either going to be eaten by something else or unfortunately perish, or as it's going through its daily life, it may leave some scat on the ground.
Okay.
So all of that energy that's come from the plant is still just moving through. Now once we're into scat on the ground, you may have fungus, which is our mushrooms, come along and start breaking it down. And the interesting thing is, I love this fact, there are an estimated 230,000 elk in the state of Colorado. Every one of them goes to the bathroom multiple times a day. Without fungus, bacteria, and invertebrates, things like ants, breaking it down would be up to our neck in scat. So there's a huge recycling going through. Now as this scat gets put back into the system, it goes into our soils. Obviously, our plants then take energy from the sun again and help move it back through over and over and over again.
It's all part of the grand scheme of things kind of thing, you know, how it was all devised.
And now the reason why I brought this program is we've obviously got our new campus built.
Yes.
And the new campus is actually using a lot of green technology to help capture or change some of our energy. So if people want to come in and learn about some new green techniques of building, so insulation, we've got straw baling in some of our walls. We have solar thermal. So we're actually heating different fluids to help transition heat into our hot water service so we're not using gas to burn it. We're using solar voltaics, so we're actually producing solar energy. And then we've got a geothermal heat pump. So there's a lot going on of how we're helping shift different energy sources to help reduce what we're using. And the great thing is at the moment we're currently producing about 80% of the energy we need for the campus on site. So if people want to come in and see exactly how we're doing that and reducing our impact and learn a little bit more about what nature's doing, please come in.
Yeah, and it's just a beautiful center as well. Okay, great. Dale, thanks for the lesson. And once again, reduce, reuse, recycle. It's been a part of the plan for a long time.
It's always going to be there for us.
Okay, perfect. If we want to find out more about your programs, I know you're right in the middle of your school year programs.
Jump onto walkingmountains.org. Up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a link that says programs. At the moment, there's a small calendar for the fall, and it'll show when we've got daily hikes, when we've got different evening programs, and when we've got different family clubs happening on Saturday. So check out what's going on. There's something for everybody, and we welcome you to call in or just call and make some reservations as well, because there's some competition for these positions.
Yes.
We've had great attendance at our program, so try and get in early.
Okay, perfect. Walkingmountains.org is the website, not just for kids, adults. You can get involved with some of the programs as well. We'll be right back.